Okay, well I've started having a look at the capacitors. Been given the go-ahead to carry on and do this one. So this is a little bit of an eye-opener. Makes me wonder what the other Selenas I've got are like. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Okay. Right, so I've got my ESR meter here. I've disconnected a leg of each of these because I tried them in circuit and I thought dodgy readings, could be because they're in circuit. So just going to try them now. This is the first one. Hopefully you can see that. Right, so it's reading 11.29. I assume it's a 10, I'm really not sure. I can't read any of the readings on it. 8.6 ohms ESR, very high. Totally had it. This one over here, open circuit or low capacitance. Now that's a bigger one. I think that's a 50 microfarad, but it's actually, I've measured it on my keysight meter and it's showing something like, well, let's try it. See if I can get that in the picture. No, can't get it in the picture. Yeah, there we go. This is reading 1 nanofarad. So what's that? 0.1 microfarad. It could be a 0.1 microfarad, I suppose. If it is, it's bang on. I can't see it though, it's too big a cap for that. So that's those two, both shot. This one back here. Click on. Very high ESR. 5.7 microfarads, 13 ohms ESR. These capacitors are absolutely shot. And the last one, 5 microfarads again, but over 40 ohms, so off the scale. So I need to try and find out on the circuit diagram what values these are, because can't read Russian. I know it's only numbers. I mean, that says K5012. Again, I'm not sure which way round is positive and negative on these, because it's like a positive earth system. I don't know which way round I am here. So I mean, it says positive there, but whether that means positive, I don't know. Because that one says negative there, so I think that's 5 microfarads at 12 volts. Yeah, 5M, so they've got to be 5 microfarads. This one, I don't know, 10 microfarads. And this one, (20 microfarads), so 20, 10 and 2 5s, I think. Okay, well I'm making a start on the recap. Excuse me. I found one stuffed underneath the board as well, which I wouldn't expect, and I thought that was just like a little normal cap, but yeah, it looks like it's Another electrolytic. So I'm just trying to eye up how to fit this one now. So it looks like the positive's got to go to that pin. It's got this bit of insulation over it, which yeah, should fit on there. I'm just going to mark which end's positive before I drop it and pull it apart again. That's the recap pretty much done. This is the 4 on the top of the board and the 1 in underneath. One other thing I found while poking around is this capacitor here. You're gonna like this. This one just here, 47 nanofarads. Only one leg is soldered. I would say that has been like that since new, I would say. So, as I say, that one is wiggly wiggly. So I'm going to need to just clean the leg up on it, tin it, push it back in the hole and solder it back in from behind. Okay, well, when I was struggling with this, I thought it's just as well strip the whole lot out. I'm going to regret this probably, but these long studs that hold the back, the woodwork in, also hold the front panel on. So once you've undone the screw on the back, unscrew these and this front panel will come right off. So I'm just going to disconnect the speaker so I can get this front panel out of the way and over somewhere safe where it's not going to get damaged. So we've got white on top and red underneath. Actually, I'll just take a picture of that, bear with me. Right, well, I think you can definitely say that this is apart now. Oh my god, will it ever go back together? Okay. So that was all really for the benefit of getting to this large capacitor on the power supply, which is a 500 microfarad. It looks like it's going to be tricky because I'm going to need to try and reattach it because it does. Unfortunately, it forms part of the structure of this side. Let's have a look at it on the ESR meter a minute, just see what it's reading. I bet your life it's well out of spec. It's saying it's in circuit and leaky. Well, yeah, it is in circuit. Let's get all these fragile parts out of the way. Certainly I've never ever had one apart this far before. God, dear me, but then I've never recapped one, so. Right, I'm going to get that one out, see what I can do there, see if I can hobble something up. I'm going to have to undo this clamp. Yeah. And there's yet more wires straining. Love these diodes there. Right, I'm going to get that desoldered, bear with me. Okay, well, he's out. Beast of a capacitor. Look at that. That's a proper capacitor, isn't it? I've had to disconnect the wire for that. I'm just going to tack that back on a minute just so as I remember I've got to do that. So remember where it goes mainly. Let's have a look at this one on the ESR meter then. This radio is scarily apart now. So it should be 500 microfarads, 678, so it's gone high. What a beauty though. I don't know if there's any way I could get this up in that can. Tricky, it's tricky. Yeah, I'm going to have to stuff it in the can somehow. I'm going to put in 105 degree 560 microfarads. I've got 470s, but I thought power supply, let's go bigger. I'm just got to work out how to do this now. This radio is precariously resting at the moment as well. Don't like it hanging like that, but I can't really do a lot because of the way it's constructed. Let's see if I can make a bit of room. Get it up on the bench a little bit better. Right, so the next thing is to try and get this apart, see what's inside it. It looks like it's squashed. There, we've got a rubber washer in there. Come on, think, Graham. So that'll easily sit in there. The legs are long enough. I can join one of those to the negative leg. That's to the positive. We'll double check that because of these strange boards. I mean, it might be that that's the negative and that's a positive. You just never blimmin' know with this. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? It needs to be structurally sound. I think I'm going to have to cut it off here around this crimp because that sits well down in, so the clamp is actually going around this piece. So I think I'll cut it around that crimp. I can rejoin that together with some epoxy and some silver tape, and if I can pull the guts out and get rid of this, I might be able to drill that hole out bigger to get both of the legs poking through. So they should both come through that centre part, and we get to reuse a nice old capacitor. 1983, that one, November 1983. So I'm gonna start chopping away at this with my hacksaw. I'm basically just gonna go all the way around. Can't see what I'm doing there, can you? Yeah, so basically I'm just chopping all the way around with the hacksaw. what's going to be inside this, so it's going to be a gloves on job when this one comes apart. Oh, just a big old coil of metal. Right, gloves time. Okay, inside a Russian electrolytic. So hopefully you can see there. I'll get, let me get close. That's as close as it'll let me go. So it looks like we've got our metal film there. Looks like some sort of plate, whether that's a plate that they crimp around onto. I really didn't want to get into restuffing this, but looks like that's the only way that we're going to get this back, because it's structural. I won't be restuffing the other ones. I think I've got to get this metal piece out here. Yeah. Okay. That's come off. Now the capacitor is moving around quite nicely. So what I'm trying to do is stuff a screwdriver in there and twist it, see if it'll come out. Okay. Well, that centre part is moving there, which is good news. So if I can shove it that way. There she comes. Whee. Well, that was a damn sight simpler than getting one of our caps apart. It's still quite moist inside. I don't know what they've used. Stinks, whatever it is. Anyway, I think that should probably go in the bin, but yeah, eek. Just in case the owner wants to keep hold of it, I'm going to put it there for a minute. Glad I put the gloves on. Right, so my capacitor will easily fit in there. Just going to make this hole a bit bigger so as the base pokes right through without shorting. Drill bit time. Okay, welcome back to the Selena B210. So where I left off yesterday was restuffing this old capacitor to try and keep the integrity of the structure, really. Yeah, I can pretty much get that back together. I might just need to put this disc back in to just give that some rigidity, because when that clamps down on it, it might fold if I haven't got that in. So what I want to try and do is get the capacitor. Let's just get you in a bit closer. What I'm hoping to do is pop this capacitor in, stick the legs out the bottom, and get them to come out. Come on. and shorter of the two legs is the negative. So what I want to do is tie that to one of these outer legs and insulate the centre pin. I could even pop their original thingy back in there, couldn't I, to give it some insulation, but yeah, I might well do that. Oh, there's a doorbell. Okay, sorry about that. That was good news. That's my 3D printer back. Yeah, so what I was playing with was this concept. Could I bend up one leg of the capacitor, solder it to the case acting with these pins as the ground, and have that centre one just coming out insulated. I don't need a huge length on it, so I could afford to solder this cap up quite high. I could certainly tack it in there. I might give that a go. I might give that a go first, because that would give us a very authentic replacement, really. I could squash that rubber grommet back in there and reuse it. I think I would still put some heat shrink on that anyway, just in case. But yeah, I'm going to try that a minute. He says throwing it on the floor. So I've just run a bit of let's turn my iron up a bit hotter. So we get 400 odd. Just run some emery paper around there. What I'm going to do is stick it in my third hand tool and see if I can pop a blob of solder on it. Stick some flux in it. Let's just tilt it down a little bit so the flux doesn't run inside. Looks like that's a fail. The solder just isn't attaching to that at all, and I mean that's pretty hot. Nope. Fail. Okay. So that's back to the original plan then, which is drill it out, put both legs down through, and a bit of heat shrink on the centre leg. Cool, yeah, that's got pretty hot. But it's going to take a while to cool down. Okay, so latest on this. Drilling out the bottom piece, unfortunately, meant that the crimp came off, so I've had to rethink this one. So what I've done, I've soldered the negative lead to this leg here, as you can see, and I've got some heat shrink on the positive, which should line up. So the idea now, if I go over to where the board is hiding, which is here, the idea now is that I'm going to solder all that in like so. It's going to need a bit of wiggling because it will go, look. I'm going to hot glue this one in. I'm going to try and pop this piece here back in. Stick that piece back on. I'm going to pop a bit of epoxy on that, and then hopefully it'll all go back to get what a game, isn't it? What a game. Why do I do this? But yeah, unfortunately that is sort of structural. I could, I suppose, make up a piece. This doesn't need to be earth this can. I don't need to get a negative on that piece. This bit is only forming a bridge. No issues there. So yeah, it's all a bit touch and go really. So what I think I'm going to do first of all to give me some rigidity is solder this back into the board here. So you can see I've got my positive there and negative is attached to one of these legs, which has gone through the hole very nicely actually. I did do a little bit of filing of the leg to shave it down a bit, but yeah, I'm pleased with how that's gone back in. I'm going to need to release that fuse wire again. Get that one out of the way. So yeah, I'm going to solder that in a minute and see how we get on. Pop it in there. There's a bit of a rest. That's where it's going to finish up. So bear with me, I'm going to get that soldered back in and see how we get on from there. Okay, that was a success. The capacitor is now in the circuit. So next thing I've got to do, I think, is hot glue this up. It shouldn't be too difficult. And once the hot glue has gone off, I can think about epoxying it. So let's get the hot glue gun fired up first. Okay, well I'm on plan number 3 now, I think, or 4 or 5, I'm not sure. But I'm just looking at how I'm going to do this, and I think the easiest way for me to get all this to hook up